Barack Hussein Obama catastrophe. JCPOA, one of the worst deals. NAFTA might have been worse, but that was worse economically. This deal was really dangerous, what he did. He gave them everything, including a lot of money, which we don't give them, by the way, just in case you have any question. We'll be giving this out so you can read it and you can see. And it's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing. You know, I don't want to do that because it's so good.
Oh, my God.
We might have to, because we're never going to let them have a nuclear weapon. But they've agreed not to, and you'll see that very clearly in the agreement. But then the second phase of that was they were building, or they were enriching material. As
I wish I would have started this recording a little earlier.
Material under granite mountains. Granite being,
but this was just playing in the background.
In the construction business, granite being a very strong, the strongest stone.
And I think that I don't.
Not as pretty as marble, but it's.
I don't know if maybe he doesn't speak in like a long form type thing like this.
On the stairs
not
of the White House going to
pre-scripted.
The Oval Office, the black granite. It's rated 1 million years plus.
Something quick that he just gets up in front of a camera and a microphone and starts riffing.
Mountains. And the B-2s came along.
But he's running out of steam. You can see he's getting a little tired.
No moon. They had a beam going right
but
up
this has been going for about 10 minutes now.
Like CNN.
Because my Alexa just plays news.
That much damage. And it turned out that the damage was
when I first wake
Those
up.
mountains collapsed right on top of everything. Nobody's going to get that for a long time, unless we.
And I wasn't really paying attention.
But we're the only ones that can.
And then I just kept listening.
To get it, and we have the equipment to get it.
And I realized
not valuable. Not a lot of
our
value,
president is mentally ill.
To get it psychologically, but nobody's touching it.
No, he's mentally ill.
That's what Space Force is. We have the greatest military in the world, by the way. But I'm proud of Space Force because I started it. We have Space Force cameras on every single door, well, there are no doors.
Oh my God, bro.
But every area of that, if somebody walks in,
what are they thinking?
With his name on it, like
what are they thinking when this stuff happens?
Which is about a 50-50 guess. Mohammed something.
And this is no barometer for like sanity either. You know, Marco Rubio.
We can see things you wouldn't believe the quality of.
But even he
stuff that we have
must be thinking, "Oh my God, what in the fuck is he talking about? And what is he going to talk about next?"
Blockade like that. It's like a steel wall. So what happened is we then terminated that, and I call it the nuclear dust, and that was the end of that. But if we didn't hit that with the B-2 bombers, or if it wasn't successful, they would have had a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb at a very high level, not the highest, but it would have been a very high level. We have much bigger. But we hope that we're never going to have to use it. We have the most. Russia has second.
I want the transcript.
Very far behind, but going to catch up. Unfortunately, you know, they're catching up. But we have the most. We have the most powerful. But we also have the most. But Russia's not far behind. And then you have China in third place. But within 5 years they'll be probably even. And we ought to make a denuclearization deal. It would be so great. We don't need all of that. We don't need to be able to blow up the whole world 300 times over. It's terrible. It's really, if we could do a denuke deal, I'd love it. And one of those two is very willing to do it, I will tell you, but the other one is less willing to do it, and you need all of them. So the deal we reached with
this is a travesty. It's a joke.
Shortly. Tomorrow, maybe the next day.
This is our fucking president.
My whole life is all about deals. That's all I ever did is make deals. And crazy things happen with deals. I've gone into deals
of the United States.
It's a guarantee. No way it can not be signed. And it doesn't get signed. And I've gone into deals that you have no chance of making. And they go like nothing. So, but we're going to most likely sign a deal. They want to sign a deal, and they've been acting very appropriately. They took a big 2 hits last week. Those were 2 very big hits. So, importantly, Iran has agreed that they will neither produce nor procure a nuclear weapon.
And I know they don't wonder that
because originally they said they talk about the that they will not develop a nuclear weapon. And some people found it okay. These guys didn't.
Nobody's wondering what I'm doing.
But I didn't like it.
But
I said it won't develop. I said, what happens if they should buy? I don't know. It's pretty, very dangerous for somebody to sell, because whoever sells them a nuclear weapon will get nuked themselves. If they sold a nuclear weapon, only a few that could do it, they would be nuked. They wouldn't have that country long. So it's a very dangerous thing for somebody to do. But I wanted it in there. So it's develop, procure, buy, anything. And you'll see that when you see the agreement, but it's appropriate that we release the agreement. And we did send a copy to Israel, by the way. They've been a good partner. Again, I think they could do better with respect to Hezbollah. I'm not saying they shouldn't protect themselves. I'm saying when two drones are shot into the desert and drop harmlessly, you don't have to knock down buildings in Beirut. They could behave better. And frankly, they could do a better job. I love them as a partner. They were terrific. But they could do a much better job with Hezbollah. On that, I don't think they're doing well. And I feel very bad for Lebanon. Lebanon's been, it was a great culture. They had the professors, the doctors, the lawyers. It was an incredible culture, maybe the highest in the Middle East for years and years, centuries.
Like, just when you think maybe he's going to wrap it up.
50, 60 years, they have been just trashed. They have been living in hell. So they'll work closely with us to turn over the so-called enriched material that's very deep in the bowels of the earth, very deep. Nobody can get it. So it's not important that we do it quickly, but we could do it fairly quickly. When we have a chance, we'll do it. But in the meantime, we have cameras on every inch of it. Nobody can do it. And if they do, we'll hit them with Patriots, that's all. And they'll be gone. And they know that. Technical discussions on the removal of all stockpiles of enriched materials will begin immediately. We're going to start that immediately. And unlike Barack Hussein Obama, who sent Iran pallets of cash and any relief they received under this deal,
why do they say the Hussein part? Is it just to make sure everyone remembers that he has a middle name that's not normal?
It's
not normal.
Whose
middle name is Hussein? Obviously.
I don't mind being tough, but it's pretty
secret Muslim.
You can invest in a country. You can invest in any country you want, but you can't invest there. Well, they need investment because...
Bro, isn't it fucking nap time yet?
$2 trillion worth of damage. So somebody's going to have to help them out. There's no guarantee about helping them out, and could be...
You're in France. Go drink some Avion.
I don't know. But it's a lot of money. Almost nobody has that kind of money. That's the kind of damage that was done. But we're not investing any money. There was a fake story. There was a fake...
Get some water. Dilute the fucking cocktail that they shoot you up with before you have to do this type of stuff.
It was a perfect statement. And they reported it in a very strange way.
He's coked up.
That's why it's fake news, I guess.
He was coked up.
So we don't give them money.
It's starting to run out a little bit, but still just
what
going.
What happens is, with time, if they behave, if they be a citizen of the world, a reasonable citizen of the world. And I think this group, again, I didn't do this for regime change, but I think this group is regime change. I mean, hey, the first group is dead.
Bro, you said regime change. You can't talk and then a part of what you just said triggers something in your head and you're like, oh, regime. Speaking of which, that's a good point. Bro, you're like, he's schizophrenic.
But the second group came in and they were very unreasonable too.
It's Mad Libs.
They were all done. And then the third group.
It's fucking word association. He's just up there doing word association.
We've been dealing with
this is our fucking president.
They've been fine. I mean, I've had a lot of easier.
What happened?
I've had some easier ones. They're tough. They're smart. Maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has already increased substantially.
This is why I checked out. I can't.
A normal flow of energy will resume in the coming days, and trillions of dollars will be made by the world, and the stock market will, I believe, continue to rise. The only difference is that a player that's very volatile, very tough, very smart, frankly, they have, in one way, a primitive culture, but it's also a genius primitive culture. They're very smart people, and very good negotiators, but so are we. So rather than possibly going into a depression rather than having your favorite president be Herbert Hoover. I was always the one
Oh my
I
God.
didn't want to be.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have
This is
preferred
Grandpa at the
Kennedy.
retirement home.
But the one I always thought of, Herbert
Sleepy
Hoover.
Joe? Sleepy would be
He
better.
raised taxes too fast, and he raised interest rates too fast, all at the same time.
Now he's talking about Herbert Hoover.
the Great Depression. So I don't
Mind
think I'll
you,
make mistakes.
not an
I don't
accurate
lower taxes,
recounting.
I don't raise taxes. In fact, we just gave you the largest tax decrease, largest tax cut.
Oh, we're
in
on
the
to
history
something
of our
else.
country.
Like,
So we'll be working on a parallel effort with the Gulf nations to address non-nuclear
Oh my God, he's
issues
still
such as
talking.
the conventional ballistic missiles, which we'll be talking about, and support. I mean, they have to have some because
Oh,
other
no,
people
bro,
have some. You gotta have
stay on
some.
topic,
Somebody said,
please.
you shouldn't give them one. And I have guys. I like some
God,
of
he
these
can't
guys,
finish a sentence.
but I don't think they're smart. Sir, you shouldn't let them have any missile. I said, well, what am I going to do?
Oh my
Am I
God,
going to
he's
let
doing
Saudi Arabia
characters.
have missiles,
He's
but
doing
they can't have them?
voices.
Yes, sir. It doesn't work that way, you know? It doesn't work that way. And missiles aren't the problem. Missiles they hurt a little location, but they don't blow up the planet. So the Gulf nations.
This is
will
like
address the
Grandpa
non-nuclear issues.
in the retirement home, and he's just
We'll be
telling you
talking
the
about
story, and it goes on and on and on and on. And the whole
talk
point of the
also about
story
the,
is like this
terrorist
huge
proxies that
fucking
they
walk,
have.
this long walk
We don't want
to
that
get
to
to like,
happen.
that's
I
right,
wanna
they all
thank
called
our
me
partners
sir.
in both
I was a big
Pakistan
man.
and Qatar. These people
Did I
work
tell
so
you about
hard.
the? Yes, you told us
And I
about the
know,
time
well,
when you.
in
Nah,
the case
okay,
of
Grandpa, it's
Pakistan,
good
quite
seeing
well. In
you.
the case of Qatar, they were sort
Good
of,
seeing you. Keep
Qatar
taking your
was
meds.
great because they are right next door. When I flew from there,
Oh, they fucked up
from
the
that
cocktail
location
today.
to Saudi
They
Arabia, I'd
did.
fly for
They gave him the wrong.
40
Look
minutes,
at
and I'd fly
Marco's
to
like, what do I do?
UAE
Do I nudge
40
him?
minutes to
Should I tap him?
great leaders
I
there, by
can't
the
do
way.
that. I might get fired.
In the case of Saudi Arabia, the father's still
Look, he
alive
just got
and he's
closer to him,
fantastic,
though.
and the son is going to be great. He's going to be great. The crown prince. And Mohammed at UAE is an incredible warrior. He was dropping bombs. Last week I said, who the hell's dropping all those bombs? It was UAE. He's a good fighter, Mohammed. But every administration for decades has sought to get Iran to relinquish its nuclear ambitions, but the threat only got bigger. The wars got
Isn't this
bigger and bigger.
isn't this
and
when someone
stronger
comes in and
bigger
says,
and
"Okay,
nothing ever happened.
guys, visiting hours ended
And
10
Iran
minutes
gets
ago."
stronger and tougher. If we didn't blow
And
them
you're
up
like,
the first
"Oh,
time
thank
and then
God."
blow out those weapons, they would have been unstoppable. This should have done what I'm doing and what I did. Should have been done years ago. Would have been much easier, much less firepower. But it wasn't. And again, I want to thank all those countries. And I want to thank Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. So obviously the breakthrough would not have been possible without the unprecedented pressure the United States put on the regime over the past year and a half. But again, it started a long time ago. It started with the death of Soleimani. That was a big deal.
Yeah, no,
No
you
president
keep
in
saying
history
it was
has
a
ever
big
been
deal.
tougher on Iran than I have, and they know that. And by the way,
Oh, by
if
the
they
way,
don't
here we go.
honor the agreement, or some things aren't
Digression
even mentioned in the
number
agreement. It's a memorandum
86.
of understanding, but we have an understanding of certain things without writing it. And if they don't honor that, we'll probably go back to bombing them until they honor it. You know, it's amazing what bombs can do. So I say it. The Obama deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, and let's call it the Trump deal was a wall for a nuclear weapon that the nuclear weapon could not get through. Nobody's going to get through it.
Incoherent.
We built a wall. They weren't going to have it, and that's what we have right now. And it says very clearly, the most important clause to me, too, number one, the Strait opens, but that's much less important than the other clause, clause number whatever, 5, 8, is a very strong statement that they will never have a nuclear weapon. And it doesn't say they'll have one in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. With Obama, they were able to enrich very quickly. This agreement now provides Iran with a historic opportunity. If they follow the path of cooperation, we'll have opened for them their country.
Oh, wow.
We'll have a
Yeah,
chance to survive.
No bomb. They're not going to be able to do anything anymore.
People.
Wow, just like no guns in Manhattan, and all the guns are gone. There's nobody who has a gun in Manhattan. Nobody.
And they bombed their biggest bridge.
Because it's on a piece of paper somewhere. It says you can't have it.
Washington Bridge of Iran. But we bombed that bridge. You saw that. One quick strike by an F-22, the most beautiful fighter jet ever made, by the way. In fact, we're ordering some more of them. We're bringing it out because it's so effective. It's incredible. That's it's incredible. Well, look, we have the greatest military in the world. Those B-2 bombers are unbelievable. Who would have thought they could handle? Each had two because the flight was so long, but they handled
so
three
this
of
is,
the biggest,
listen,
heaviest
I don't
bombs,
even know.
hundreds of
I'm checked
thousands
out.
of
I don't
pounds,
even
and
know.
they
President
handle them
Trump
like they're nothing. It's amazing.
address of the
And
deal
also
with
they're
Iran. So
undetectable.
obviously there's been a
They
deal
flew
with
into
Iran. And this has
Totally,
been
think of it, totally undetected. Now, Iran's waiting for
supposedly coming for a
They're
long
waiting for
time. Months
never
ago
saw
he
them.
said, we're so close, we're so close.
1 o'clock in the morning.
This
They never saw
is
them.
his...
They're stealth.
This
And
is
we
a
just ordered
perfect
22
storm
more
of everything Trump loves.
newer,
This
upgraded version,
is his victory lap.
which I
This
guess
is
is
he wants
better.
to
I
remind
don't know how you get
everyone
better.
of how amazing
But
he
as
is.
I
We got
expressed
it
to
done.
the
We
world
just
leaders
won the
here this
world.
week,
We won the
it's my
world.
hope
It was
that
the biggest
the peace
contest, the
agreement
biggest
will be the
competition, and we
beginning
won
of
it. It was the
much
biggest
larger
one.
deal all
B-52s
across the
and the
Middle East. We're very
B-22 bombers,
close.
by
Look
the
at
way,
job
the
we've
greatest
done in
military.
Gaza.
And this was,
Look
and
at
let me
Hamas.
tell you,
Hamas has been very silent. You haven't read anything about Hamas, and we're trying to get them unarmed. You know, they grew up with a machine gun in their hand.
so
think
clearly
actually,
that he's just a little
when they were
overstimulated, is my point.
They came out with a
He's
machine
a little
gun
overstimulated.
In their hands.
He's
It's not the
probably
easiest thing, but they've-
due for a nap. He
they've
was supposed to be
actually,
put down a couple
behaved pretty well. Considering
hours
this
ago,
was not the lifestyle
and he
that
had
they
to
were
stay
taught to
up
have.
because he heard the deal
But
was
including
close.
an end to all Iranian
And this is a
aggression,
perfect storm
and
of
not gonna be
everything
Iranian
that
aggression,
triggers
and an end
his
to war
ADHD and all the
Lebanon.
stuff.
So
Everything's on
the
full
Lebanon
display.
piece
It comes bubbling up to
something
the
we'll have to work
surface.
on a
This
little
is
bit.
too
It's a
much
very
for him to
small,
handle.
piece of the puzzle, actually, but it still makes a lot of noise. The big deal is the Iran deal. That's where the money is, where the power was. But they have Hezbollah, and we got to get that done one way or the other. We'll do it. I think Israel can do a much better job on it. Syria
It's like a
would love
fever
to do
dream.
it. I was very responsible for the gentleman at Syria that's now the president of Syria. He's done a tremendous job. He's put that country together in a year and a
Pop-up.
half.
Story time is over.
Sort of like our country, a year and a half. It's pretty similar size. They said, please don't put him there. He's a very violent man. Al Qaeda. I said, well, I know one thing. A Boy Scout's not going to work. And he's actually done a very good job. He'd love to go in, and Hezbollah's an enemy of his, and he'd go in, but he wouldn't knock down buildings every time he hears there's somebody. He'd just go and get them with precision. But I don't know that people want that. Maybe they don't. Maybe Lebanon doesn't. We have to be guided a little bit by Lebanon. And by the way, the president is going to be coming, prime minister, president, going to be coming.
If you played a
over to
drinking
see us
game where you had to do a shot every time you said, by the way,
good man,
you'd be
man is
fucking
living.
ripped.
What a tough life he's got, because he's got tough groups of people. And it's amazing. Amazing there is a Lebanon with all they've been through. They have been treated worse than just about.
Wow. So what has he got? A deal in Lebanon, a real estate deal? Something with Lebanon. He's got
We're
something.
going to get, and I think Saudi Arabia, if they lead the way, they'd be doing themselves a big favor, because everybody that's in it, UAE went in right from the beginning. Again, he's a warrior. And they never got out. Nobody ever got out. You think maybe during the war they were all afraid of? Everybody was afraid of Iran.
Oh my God!
And that's why we ended up with
nod
the
your head.
original members.
Yep, that's
But
right.
then when the election was rigged, that's right. And I wasn't here at all. Nobody cared about anything. The country went to hell in every way. That was the least of it. Middle East was the least of the country went to hell, allowing 25 million people into the country, unchecked and unvetted, many of them criminals, many of them murderers, 11,888 murderers allowed into our country.
Wow.
So this was the least of it.
That is such a
But the
specific
past 2
number.
days have also provided an opportunity to discuss a number of other key issues with members of the G7 and our partners.
He's still
Yesterday
going.
morning, we had a productive conversation on
He's
the
still
war
going.
in Ukraine.
Every once in a while, he remembers
I spoke with President
that he was given this piece of paper that he's supposed to hit all the bullet points on, and he goes down and he he realizes, or he doesn't realize, that he just talked for 20 minutes between bullet points, and none of what he talked about had anything to do with anything on the piece of paper. And then he goes back down. He's like, well, I was told I got to talk. How much more? How much more is on this fucking list that they gave you? You thought, who the fuck thought they could give him a little list of big topics to talk about, to hit all the fucking, check all the boxes? Who thought that you got to give him a teleprompter with a specific...
In our session yesterday afternoon on international partnerships, I offered an update on how the United States is leading the world in responding to the Ebola outbreak in Africa.
Oh my God, Ebola. Marco's like, Jesus fucking Christ. He's talking about Ebola. This was about the Iran deal, and we're talking about Ebola. It's 6:30 at night. I had dinner reservations a half hour ago.
By the way, from African nations, and they were so happy with what we did. But where it's unfair is
that's a problem. He's over there. It's a long day. That's what it is. He's supposed to be in bed by now.
Maybe a couple of bucks.
And then he wakes up and sits on the toilet and tweets.
They were all saying thank you so much, and I think they've done a good job.
On Truth Social. No, maybe not. Not on X. Well, maybe on X. I don't know. Speaking of which, by the way, X. Okay.
Fortunately, it's not like COVID where it's that easy
COVID
to spread around, but it's rough, and we've done a good job.
He's still going.
Certain quarantines, certain locations. But today we also had excellent meetings on the economy and artificial intelligence, which is amazing what's going on with that. It's going to be the biggest.
Getting tired. He's definitely getting tired.
Careful with it. It's both great and could be bad. We have to be careful with it, but we're leading China, we're leading the world on that. We're allowing them to do their own electric plants because they need, as an example, those buildings are so big, and they're not taking the community's electricity. I gave them the right, it's my idea, I gave them the right to build electric plants like Con Edison in New York. Dig we must. And they've come up with plants that nobody's ever seen anything like them.
Con Edison.
Those are like very high IQ people. So they're actually building electric plants. So because otherwise they could never build a building because the grid is old and tired and broken and a mess. So they're building it, and they're going to sell their very cheaply. They're going to sell their extra electricity into the grid. So we take care of a lot of things like California, which doesn't have nearly enough electricity. They don't know what they're doing there.
Oh, my God.
And instead of having blackouts and brownouts, they'll be able not to.
Mr. Trump, electricity, go.
G7, and we signed a declaration on illegal immigration. The first
electricity, okay, well,
ever for
say about electricity, Con Edison. I remember back in the 80s, back in 86, it was, a very good deal, by the way, and the bridge lit up, very bright, and that was a deal I did with Con Edison, and the whole city, they didn't know if it was going to work, but it did. I've made many deals. I've gone in, and sometimes it wasn't a good deal, but then it was because I was there. And then, other deals, it was harder, but then,
in areas you wouldn't even believe. They have it in the structures of cars. Most incredible thing. But we've done a great job on it. We have.
This is our fucking president.
Water down 61%. Drugs coming through water.
Fucking mentally ill, geriatric.
Gulf, down 97.2%.
It's not. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Just like we hit the Iranian minesweepers.
This is all
mine droppers.
Window dress.
They dropped. Who would have 28 mine droppers? Who has 28 mine droppers?
Ooh, Marco's moving in. Marco's doing something. He's hitting the panic. There's a button or something he's trying to hit.
Drugs are down by water.
He's trying to turn them off.
97%. And over 60% they're down, and now we're going to go and focus on the land. They come through Mexico. Mexico has lost control of their country. The cartels are in Mexico, and it's sad. And the president's a very good woman, but she's a very scared woman. The drug cartels are totally running Mexico.
Oh my God, what a word salad.
We agreed to accelerate our efforts to secure our critical minerals and rare earth supply chains.
He's back on the list. 20 minutes later, let's go to the next bullet point.
A big run because we do it better than, and we had to get motivated. The G7 also agreed that the United States' new approach to international development based on the private sector investment is working at levels that they never thought possible. It's really working. I held a number of very positive bilateral meetings in France.
Bilateral meetings.
Very good meetings.
Very good meetings. Very good.
The Emir of Qatar.
Very good.
Sheikh Tamim.
Sheikh Tamim.
I tell you, I wish I could really know the guy. You know, some people say, well, he lived in that neighborhood. You can't be saying things that you'd like to have him say. He was fantastic on this, and he's been a fantastic guy in terms of energy and getting energy out there. President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed, who's an amazing warrior. President El-Sisi of Egypt. Prime Minister Modi of India. We spent a long time together today. I spoke to Mohammed.
It's crazy, man. If this was at the Oscars, they would have played him off the stage, wrap it up, whatever. But he's still going. He's now thanking everyone who helped.
It's not that they could stop us if we didn't want them to.
We think it might be near the end because if he's starting to like thank people who played a pivotal role, this guy's laughing.
But we spoke to all of them and many countries.
He's a stand-up
all over the
comedian.
world. So
that would have been his dream job, to get up and just be a stand-up comedian with everyone in the audience captivated and laughing at his every word.
Your biggest risk was that they drop a.
I think Marco's thinking about it. He's thinking about being like, President, we have to go.
No more Israel. Think of it, baby. You got the most important thing that you were asking for.
President, I think we have a meeting coming up. We're supposed to be at.
Some people are going to be, not him, but there are some people, some writers, some that I thought were friends of mine, but I don't want them as friends anymore because they're either stupid or they're bad people. But we stopped nuclear holocaust, and it stopped too. I mean, there's not going to be any of that.
Wow, they stopped the nuclear holocaust. They stopped. They said this is not fucking.
We're more respected as a country right now.
What is it? D-Day, V-Day, right? It was Victory Day. This is not the end of World War II. You didn't just save the world from the evil clutches of Nazi Germany.
Ask him, what flavor ice cream do you like? I like.
You're a fucking retard talking about Baskin Robbins at a fucking G7 summit in France.
Unfair reporting.
You did not just save the planet.
We can never let that
I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you.
The worst inflation ever. We had the worst in prices and the costs. It's all coming down now because the oil is bringing it down. You're going to see numbers that are going to be amazing. But this evening, I look forward to a very special dinner with President Macron and his
President Macaroon
at the Palace of Versailles. I sort of like that palace. Palace has a lot of gold. I want to check it out.
Oh my God!
Palace, maybe the most beautiful of all. I hope you're going to get to see it. The ones that are traveling with me, I hope you're going to get to see it because it's amazing. But they asked me if I'd stay a little bit longer and go to Paris. So I'll get home a little bit later, but it'll be a nice dinner. But I'm interested to see it.
Wow, he is out of his element.
Ultimate, I guess.
He is. This is Trump abroad. This is like season 9, Trump abroad. Like the show should have ended a couple seasons ago. Post jumping the shark, and they just kept hanging on, and they were running out of storylines, so they took like, you know, Waldo goes to fucking Europe or whatever, Europe vacation.
Having a lot of hard times. They're doing some things very badly on energy and on immigration. They're doing things very badly, and we'll be talking about that tonight. So with that all said, if you want to ask us any questions.
Nope, no questions, sir. No questions.
Peter, bonjour. You may I'm clear, President Trump, the United States is not going to
look at this guy.
directly
There he is.
pay Iran, but the U.S. is going to let the Iranians start making billions of dollars, selling oil, accessing this reconstruction fund.
Only if they're doing things right. Only if we're not doing anything. We're not putting up money. Only if they're doing things right. If they're doing things right, if people want to invest, they can invest. But they had this $300 million fund. It's only $300 billion fund. It's only if they're doing things right. Remember this also, when you talk about billions of dollars, they've had much more than $1 trillion worth of damage done. They got a long way. There'll be 15 to 20 years to rebuild what they have right now. So they have to behave themselves. If they're not behaving, they get hit again. You know, they'll be hit again because we can do it very easily. It's going to take a long way for them to build back their anti-aircraft stuff. It's going to take, and you know, the other thing I want to thank China, President Xi. I was with him, and he stayed neutral, totally neutral, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank Vladimir Putin. He was very neutral. They could have made it much more difficult for us. And I want to say it. You know, somebody would say, "Oh, that's terrible. He's thanking President Xi of China." Well, let me tell you, I had a long talk with him. You know, they have shoulders.